Welcome to Archangel Revelations and Prophecies 444. I am Gat, your host. The natal chart you're looking at is for a person who wanted an update of their natal chart. I know I did it a while ago. And they also want to see any twin flame information on the chart. And it is possible to have twin flames information on just one natal chart. So, of course, we're going to take our time and see what the chart has to tell us. All right. So she starts off with her rising sign, her ascendant sign is Leo. And she's going to kind of be about the money. Because the first house is Aries. So that is the leader. The leader is Aries. For emotion can be aggression. And then she's got Leo, that's a leader. But she'll also like to travel, can be romantic. May like children, likes to have fun, not afraid to take risk. And because Jupiter's there, she's a lucky person. Kind of person that'll just do something and win, or just find money. Money seems to follow them. But we're gonna see what Lilith. We're gonna see how Lilith ties in with all of this. Give me one moment. All right, so now you have Lilith retrograde in your first house, and that's very, very interesting. And she's at 8, but so is Jupiter. So wow, you're they're connecting your finances of Jupiter and everything, and Lilith to your 8th house, the Scorpio house. Now, just to let you know, that 8th house is about karma, finances, business. It could be property, real estate, taxes, debt. It's about sex. It's about primordial activity, even animalistic activity, mysteries, esoteric. Scorpio can be very obsessive, they'll doubt you until they trust you. Once they trust you, they can be very loyal, but be very possessive. A lot of power, transformation between Scorpio, and Scorpio is ruled by Pluto. So I'm only saying that the first house is ruled now by Aries. Aries is ruled by Mars. Mars used to rule Scorpio, and with them putting them 8 degrees there, so they are giving you a Scorpio effect. And it's if you notice, even if you look at the lines, it's primarily because of Lilith, and I'll explain that in a second. Now, if Lilith was direct in your first house, in your first house, because we're gonna say Lilith and Leo, because Leo is in your first house, so we would call it Leo. And I said because of Aries energy in the first house, Aries rules the house, it is going to be a little bit about aggression. So there's a person that's ready to go, and they do get finances because of it. So if Lilith was direct in Leo, it would mean the person is expressive, compassionate, creative, playful, dramatic, can be stubborn, curious, generous, and suggestive. But I saw something else. Now this one says Leo, Lilith and Leo. She can be argumentative, always up for a fight with words. She is always searching for drama. She thinks highly of herself, but can easily take a hit to her pride when shot down. So that sounds like the females I was around. They love to start trash. They always about drama, but they can't take it when you fire back. Like if they say words all day, you're supposed to take it. But if you say something back, then their feelings hurt. So that's Lilith and Leo if it's direct. It also says Lilith and Leo, overly dramatic and animalistic sensuality or sexuality. So that's an explosive person. But again, that's where they make a lot of their money though. Their money is connected to that. But that was if it was direct. Somebody might say if you thought that sounded a little extreme, wait till I read when it's retro, like yours is retrograde. So Lilith retrograde in Leo. So whenever with Lilith is retrograde, it internalizes the person's energy and it makes it harder for a person to express and release. So if Lilith was direct, the person would really have no trouble expressing themselves. In fact, they might express themselves too much. But with Lilith retrograde, now they have trouble expressing themselves. But the funny thing is, the way everything is connected, you actually make more money expressing yourself than not. It's just the way it's connected. For example, individ. Well, I want to read that. So you might have a problem with criticism people too. Because see, Leo is all about communications, and then you got Lilith there. So you may have a problem with being critical of people. Or maybe, like really blunt and hurting feelings. They said people with Lilith retrograde and Leo, they can ultimately go critical like a Uranian nuclear bomb or a psycho bitches from hell. And you can also be mysterious because you don't want to really communicate. You want to just hold it in. But the weirdness is that it will leak out. But this is how it might leak out. You'll hold it in, but this is how it might leak out. You will leak out what's inside of you in isolated moments of intimacy. Say if you're making love, if you're having sex and the sex is good, you'll tear that back up. You'll tear that dude's back up, they say. Ripping your lover's back to shreds with your fingernails during a screaming orgasm. Then compassionately treating it with hydrogen peroxide when sanity returns. So that's your first house. Okay. Now this is another part of Lilith. Because see, like I said, your first house is very aggressive, fun, outgoing, romance, everything, making a lot of money. But what happens with Lilith? Lilith can indicate a part of your life where you have to settle for second best. So that could be hard in the first house because with Aries, everything's first. Your first house is all about Aries, first Aries, leadership, Leo and Aries are both leaders. So it's all about you in your first house. But then with that little retrograde, you may have to settle for second best. You may get what you need, but you won't always get what you want, in spite of your best efforts. No matter how hard you try to come out on top or in the first place, something will come along that shoves you out of first place. This is not to say you won't ever be successful, only that you may not ever get exactly what you want. Considering that the moon rules our needs, it figures that dark moon or Lilith would hold them back, perhaps even from your conscious mind, resulting in ongoing frustration. So that's a good piece of advice to know, because people can get obsessed, like it's your first house, you're lying, I'm in charge, it's all about me. Aries energy, all about me. The first house is Aries, it's all about me. Money's looking good. And then, because some people, like especially guys, they get in competition. But what it's saying is, because Lilith is retrograde, you might not get what you want, but you'll always have what you need. So that is your first house. Now your second house, and that's your true north node. So this is what you should be working on. So you may be making money in the service department, because Virgo is in your second house. Virgo is about health, service, family, or home, I should say, home. And if you had a job, co-workers, if you have people working for you, your subordinates, it could be about animals as well, and it could be about children. Definitely about healing. Saturn is really about telling people to follow the rules. So you would have something to do with that, making sure the rules are followed, and in whatever service you're in. So that could imply a position of leadership, oversight, or authority. And that's your true north node. Your third house, ruled by Gemini, which is all about creativity, younger education, multitasking, Gemini twins, travel, because the third house is a lot like the fifth house. Libra is all about partnership, relationship, karma, justice, legal matters, fairness. So your third house has shades of twin flame, because you have Pluto, which deals with soul matters. We already told you what's going on with Pluto. Pluto rules Scorpio, which is in the eighth house. And then you got the twins, Gemini twins rules the third house, and then you got Libra. So it's definitely making a reference to twin flames. Pluto tends to be very transforming. It pretty much is implying you don't want a boring relationship, and you also want deepness in your relationship. Now it could be deep in subject matter, but it could also be deep in commitment. That just all depends. Now, as you go to the fourth house, which is the house of family, higher education, land and property, the heart, vehicles and travel, and whoever raised you as a mother figure when you were young, that would be your Imum Coeli, and she's always in your subconscious. Now, Scorpio is about mystery, things hidden, the dark things of the eighth house. We already told you sex, all that stuff, primordial activity. But you have the sun there. Now, the sun wants to shine, the sun is enlightened. And this is the person who doesn't mind provoking, doesn't mind being sexy and all that. And Uranus is gonna make them do what they want to do. This is me. I'm gonna be me, and they don't have a problem with that. So they're not limited by what people think. If they want to go out, they're gonna go out. That's just the way it is. Now, ironically, I see Venus retrograde. So what I'm getting from that, and I'm gonna tell you why. Up until that point, you really had no problem with sexuality, even if it was in private. But you have no problem expressing your sexuality. And with Uranus in there and the Sun, you definitely have no problem expressing sexuality until you get to the family. So you may, and I said, remember I told you I'm on Coeli. So you may have had a parent like try to tone you down at some point, maybe in your younger life, because there's no reason in the world why your Venus would be retrograde. Venus is about beauty, love, passion. It could be sex, diplomacy, forgiveness, culture, finances. So Venus is not trying to be held back, but your Venus is retrograde, which means held back. So since that's in your family sector, it seems you either have family or relative to kind of try to slow you down a little bit. But so you had some issues. Either you snuck around until you could do it, do it freely, or you just battled. You just battled, and but they was not going to be able to stop you from being that way because it's in your chart. Now in the fifth house is the fun house, ruled by Leo. Fun, romance, travel, children, taking risks, nature, adventure, and as you can see, you're good to go. Good to go. You because Sagittarius loves to travel. That's the ninth house. Sagittarius rules the ninth house. It's all about travel, stepping out into the unknown, philosophy, arts, culture, everything. And you love to socialize. You love to meet people. And Neptune makes you very idealistic. See, as we said earlier, see the fifth house, and that fifth house is ruled by Leo, and they already told you in your first house you're gonna have a lot of money. You're gonna have fun. You take chances. Idealism is gonna make you take chances. And then Uranus in the fourth house is not gonna let anybody hold you back. In the fourth house, since that is an educational house, if you're in education, this is higher education though, like adult education, like after high school education, but it's just higher. It can be higher if it's high school education. It's like those last years, like 11th and 12th grade, but then it's higher than that. But if you were doing anything in school, you were like real outgoing, and you don't mind being provocative or nothing like that. So then your fifth house is the same thing, but now it's traveling and everything. So you love to talk, you love culture, you may speak more than one language, and that Mars energy is energy. It's not just a. It could be drama because they already said from your first house you could be somewhat of a drama queen, but the Mars energy could mean drama, but it can also mean just a whole lot of fiery energy to go out and enjoy life. Now, you see part of fortune in your fifth house. And now let me tell you how I'm starting your count. This is the count. Where that it says 12, but that's not 12. That's your first house. I know it's 12, but that's how you start to count. You start to count at 1 because of AC, which is your ascendant or rising sign, and each EP, which is your each point. Now both of those things have to do with the sun was when you were born, but I just call it sun energy. At the end of the day, it's just sun energy when you were born, and because you're a Leo, so then you had a whole lot of sun energy in your first house. So you're really a lighted person, outgoing person, and things of that nature. So your part of fortune is really in your fifth house. So what we have to do now is look some of this stuff up. So give me a second. So first thing we'll do is say part of fortune in the fifth house. This person has creative, because Leo is creative too, but so is a Gemini. This person has creative and emotional energies overflowing. They need to express these and find great satisfaction in creative or artistic activity. So you're real good. You're real good in artistic, arts and culture, arts and entertainment. You're real good in those areas. All right. So it says sun and the part of fortune. When the sun is conjunct part of fortune, the person can shine with their whole being in response to the solar illumination. So yeah, because your sun is in your fifth house, even though you're Sagittarius, you're kind of like a Leo too. No, I'm sorry, your sun is in your fourth house. All right, so we're gonna do part of fortune. I believe we just did part of fortune in the fifth house. Okay, so what we're looking for now is part of fortune in any of those items. Give me a second. We'll see which one comes up. Mercury in part of fortune. You will use your mental facilities and an intellectual approach in finding your happiness and success. You will find it extremely easy to communicate, even in speech or writing. So you definitely have the gift of communication. And I said I think you speak more than one language. Then you can say part of fortune in Neptune. Well, Mars came up first. Part of fortune in Mars. The potency of Mars will be enhanced and is more in the more positive forms. This person with this conjunction will exhibit assertive, going right back to your first house, and pioneering qualities instinctively. Yeah, so you'll be like a pioneer. Yeah, you'll be like a real creative person. You'll be like ahead of your time. This person will be able to focus on one endeavor at a time and work at it by himself to completion. So that's Mars and part of fortune. Neptune and part of fortune. Happiness and success will come easily. Positive outlets are those of metaphysics, spiritual work, the arts, just like I said, music, marine life, underwater exploration, space exploration. All right. Mercury part of fortune. Okay, we did it. So these are some of the reasons why you would definitely be making money. And you know, it connects back to your first house because your first house, Leo's there. And this is all in your fifth house. But this is why you're going to be making that kind of money. For what I just said. All the creativity, the outgoingness, a lot of energy to get things done. Creativity. And moving forward. Personality, always moving forward. And the courage of that lion. And also coupled with the aggression of the Aries. All right, so now we're going to go into your sixth house, which we already talked about. This is still ruled by Virgo. It's all about health and service, the home, and the other things I also said in your second house. So again, you'll be making good money because you are a worker. Now you got Capricorn. So not only are you a healer, but you're a worker, which means you definitely will be blessed. Now, some of the work you may do has to do with females, helping the females in one way or another because of Palace, and Palace is the female protection, female defense asteroid. Now, because Capricorn really rules your career sector, you may actually hire females. You may have had females work for you at some point, or you had a career working with females in some type of service. You know, whether it could be anything. Elderly is a service, cleaning is a service, working at a gym is a service, but even more than that. And see, when I see Capricorn, it could mean career, but it could also imply that they actually work for you. That's the implication. But you'll have a significant meeting, or you already had it. But you would have the chart is saying you would have a significant meeting in your sixth house, and it could be any type of meeting a significant person, a significant event in your life. So even if you were to go back and think about it, it may not have happened. You might be able to find out who it was. If not, it's probably going to happen around this time. And then Vesta means you have that fiery energy. So you're a good worker, you got a fiery energy, and you're also helping people who need employment or need help in those areas. And then your nurturing is too, because that is healing. So you got your nurturing there too. So you may have done some type of work in health or healing or that type of field at some point as well. Now your seventh house is your relationship house. That's Aquarius, and Juno means you will find someone who is an Aquarius and possibly a Leo. But your relationship, which is your seventh house, or your partnership house, which is also your seventh house, means you would find some type of relationship or partnership with an Aquarius, and that person will want to enlighten the people also. And now in your eighth house, see, you have the ability to be a psychic because of Pisces and the moon. Pisces and the moon. Spiritually discerning because of Pisces and Neptune. And then you got the two elements because you have the Pisces and a Neptune element, which is just typical spiritual information. But then you got the Scorpio information of the eighth house, which is the mysteries of the kingdom, the darker elements of spirituality, and it's esoteric, metaphysical, it's hidden secrets. But that person with Pisces and Scorpio, that eighth house, because that's the eighth house, Pisces in the eighth house, which is Scorpio, that's the type of person that could be a lady in public, but a freak in the bed. And then once again, you love to travel, because in the ninth house, that's really your travel house, and that is your higher self house. There's Aries again. So your twin may have a Aries personality or a Leo personality, or that might be their sign. So now in the 10th house, which is Chiron, and that's one we really got to look at, because that's the one that people always have a problem with, and that's also a sign of the twin flame. Whenever you see Chiron and it's retrograde, that's usually where that person has trouble healing. All right, give me a moment. All right, so that is your career sector. So whatever's gonna go on can affect your career a little bit too, because that is your career sector. All right, let's look around. All right, I'm just looking. Give me a second. Chiron's placement in your natal chart represents an area of your life where significant wounding or sacrifice will take place. So I don't know. And this is your employment sector. So maybe you worked with your twin, or you had an issue with somebody, and maybe that was your twin, or you're gonna have an issue, because that's what Chiron shows up and hasn't healed it yet. All right. All right. So, because Taurus is also money. Taurus is sensuality, and Taurus is also money. It's the second house. And then your 10th house is ruled by Capricorn, but Capricorn is ruled by Saturn, and then Saturn is in your second house. So you may have had a situation in this life or a past life with someone who was really like your employer, and it left a deep wound in either you, that person, or both of you. Chiron placement in your natal chart represents an area of your life where significant wounding or sacrifice will take place, depending on the sign and house placement. The house will indicate the area of life in which it will occur, that's your career, and the sign will give an indication of its flavor. And it was sensual because it was Taurus. So it's like a fling or sensuality, a sensual situation with an employer that didn't go well. And now you've been wounded. And now Chiron is retrograde, which means it's even harder. If it was direct, it would indicate healing. But it would indicate healing. If you had a wound, it was indicating healing a little bit. But when it's retrograde, it's a deep wound. When Chiron is retrograde, expressing this energy is more difficult. She said those with Chiron retrograde hold on to their hurts more readily than those who don't have a retrograde Chiron. They're wounded more deeply. Forgiving and forgetting represents a major challenge. And they say because when Hercules hurt Chiron, it was unintentional. So she said a lot of these pains, they're unintentional. So she said we have if that's it, we have to get a grip on our thoughts. They say either way they need to work on getting past it, as it will affect their progression. And they say sometimes by helping other people heal their wounds, you'll also be helping heal their wounds. You'll be helping heal your wounds. Okay, give me a moment. All right. All right. Now, this is where it starts to get really unique with you. That's another mystery. 11th house, and that's supposed to be friends, association, groups. Nothing's there but Gemini, which is communication, creativity, multitasking, younger education. It could be travel. So you said, well, what the heck happened? And because Aquarius rules your 11th house, because that's where we're at, right? Aquarius rules your 11th house, and if you notice, it goes to the 7th house. Aquarius is in the 7th house, and Juno means you will probably find somebody who's an Aquarius, and then the twin backs it up again because the twin again is Mercury again. So it seems like something happened that I don't know if it made you because I don't know, your earlier part of your chart is like you're like a social butterfly. But then when we get here, it's like you kind of like slow down. So we know the 11th house is ruled by Aries. Well, Aries is in your 7th house, so it's indicating something with a relationship. And then the 11th house is in Gemini in your 11th house. Well, Gemini rules the 3rd house. 1, 2, 3, a relationship. This is crazy. See, that's why I try to tell you this twin flame stuff, this twin soul stuff is not no joke. And it's twin flame, you can't get past it. Everything is relationship, twin, and when you go to your 3rd house ruled by Gemini, which is the twin, there's Libra, the relationship, with Pluto. So you may be aware of this, I don't know, but something definitely happened. And it definitely was with your twin. It's not a mishap. It wasn't just somebody you were seeing or dating or goofing off. This is your twin. That's why you got that 3rd house with a Pluto right there, soulmates right there with Libra. So something happening more or less challenged you. All right. So yeah, now we go to the 12th house, and like I said, you're an extremely psychic person. Extremely psychic. You can do both sides. You can do the archangel sides of spirituality, but you could also do the darker side of the like tarot cards. So you're really gifted with that. And then you're truly a nurturer. You're truly a nurturer because your moon sign is in Cancer, and the moon rules Cancer, and then the 12th house is ruled by Pisces. So you're also a spiritual person, very nurturing, and you can deal with dysfunctional situations and be nurturing. And nurturing is healing. So even then, so you probably have dealt with like people that say antisocial, because that's the only word I can think of. Like these people have, they know the law. They may or may not have a run-in with the law, but they're definitely aware of the law and everything. Because you see it in your 8th house where Pisces is in it, and then your 12th house ruled by Pisces is Cancer. And you may have a little bit, you may have some family members locked up, maybe. But at the same time, you may have family members associated with the church or some type of religious or spiritual situations. Or you may even have some family in the legal situation, uh, psychological situation, because that's all in the 12th house. So now, my dear natal chart reviewer requester, only you know what happened, because you were a social butterfly. or maybe you still are. I don't know, but it's something happened. There must have been something in your life that caused you to shut down. That's what I'm trying to tell you, and it's definitely related to the twin. Because even your Venus, remember I said your Venus is retrograde. Because Venus rules Taurus and Libra. So something definitely happened that kind of slowed you down a little bit. And I'm just looking to see if I can see anything else. All right. I'm just looking. I'm still here. I'm just trying to study this. Like I said, that's the impression the chart's giving you. Like at some point in your life, you were just about it going, 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 going. And it seems like at the employment sector, and it's the boss because he's right there. He's right there. As soon as you go to Taurus, which is house number 2, there's the boss. And this was some type of health thing. It's some type of health thing because of Virgo, or some type of service. And then that's where everything more or less stops. And if it didn't literally stop, it's darn sure not as active as it was. Right to the second house. Saturn and Capricorn. Where's your Capricorn? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And your Capricorn is in your 6th house where Virgo is. And Saturn rules Capricorn. And that's where you have the meeting. That significant meeting or significant event. And then you have Pallas there. So you have Pallas has to do with the female defense system. So something may have happened to you in this scenario. And you gotta remember, even if something didn't happen, which I get the feeling it did, but even if something didn't happen, that means it may still be happening. So you should still make sure you listen up so you can stay protected, because that's what Pallas is about, female defense. And right now it just looks like you got with the guy. He knew he was a boss, and it was what it was, but then it didn't go too good. And then that would be there. And where else could I go from there? And then you definitely you know why her chart is like that? Because her twin's chart would tell the rest of the story. I've seen charts like this before. Because hers is a good story, but it's a cliffhanger. And that's why when you get to her 7th house, it's a serious relationship. Well, that's what Juno was looking for. But it's with an Aquarius. But to me, it just looked like, I'm just gonna be honest with you. It looked like you had it all. You had the looks, the beauty, the sexuality. You knew you could make it all like that. And then you got with the boss, and that's when shit got fucked. And it left scars on probably both of y'all. And without the chart, who, for all I know, the boss could be the guy that she would be in. It could be the twin. I don't know. But whatever it was, it seemed like it changed you. Like it really changed you to the point. Like, and I don't know if it's true, but it looked like it changed because you don't have nothing in your Well, like in your friend, you just got in your friend sector, you got Gemini. So let's go back to the 3rd house one more time, and then it takes you right. Like I said, it takes you right to the relationship. It takes you right to the relationship. And it's a deep relationship. And it's also a soul relationship or a twin soul relationship in your 11th house. And then, so you have to go to, we already went to the 7th house where Aquarius is. And then Scorpio is the 8th house where Pisces is. So, that's as far as I can go with that. Let me see how many minutes we got here. Come here, you. All right, so what we're going to do now, we're going to ask those angel questions. I'll be right back. All right, we are now going to do the angel card questions. She's asking, dear Archangels, is her twin flame, the young man, is her twin flame, the young man who she recently met? I'll be back with the answers. 3 cards pulled to answer that question. Wow. First card is Hanael. Hanael has been very busy. Hanael, we thank you for helping us. And she says, Hanael, sensitivity. You are extra sensitive to energies right now and emotions right now. Honor yourself and your feelings. Now, only because we're going to see what type moon it is right now. Because I know last night I just went outside. It wasn't dark yet, but it was beginning to get dark. But it was still broad daylight, but it was beginning to get dark. And as soon as I walked outside, something said, look up. As soon as I looked up, the moon was right there. So let's just see. Since Hanael is trying to tell us something. But Hanael is the most romantic archangel card there is in that deck, the Oracle deck. All right. Give me one moment. All right, so I put up my space chart information just to see what's going on. It is a gibbous moon, which means the moon is at 65.4% gibbous, means 65.4% full. And ironically, it's actually the moon right now is really on a, yeah, it's almost about to leave. This is amazing. Virgo, because I think we had issues on your chart. Not necessarily issues, but some type of concern on your chart. As soon as I can find it. Give me one moment. All right. Yeah. And your second house for Virgo. See, I love these cards because these cards will tell you stuff. I be cracking up when they be telling. I like when somebody be trying to lie to me and the cards rat them out, or they try to hide something and the cards bring it out. Or one time somebody tried to be slick and do a slick crack on me. And normally I would have said something back, but I let it slide. But then the angels got at him. The angels basically told him to have some respect. That's funny. Yeah, so something's about to happen. Because your true north node is the second house. Virgo in the second house. And I'm going to make sure I got to copy this chart too. So you'll know it's the second chart because you'll see the time and date. So Hanael is telling us because she's the moon. And one thing, because Chamiel does that too. Chamiel will show up and just tell you stuff. So Hanael wants you to know that Yep, Libra with the money. Now let's look at your chart again. Come on, everybody. See, yours was Jupiter, your first house, and yeah, and you had Jupiter concerns too, which I was saying that was like the twin in your third house. So something's about to happen. That's why I said it's usually divine timing. It's usually the divine timing when you ask for your natal chart and get it. And it's kind of ironic how we were talking about Leo, and now right now the true north node in the universe is Leo, and your true north node is that Virgo, but it was real close to Leo. Because what I'm trying to say is there's similar stuff going on. So what she's trying to tell you is you got some relationship issues coming on, and also money concerns. Now I know right now Jupiter is retrograde, but in your case that's not necessarily negative. It could even be past life money, or it might just mean money because your Jupiter was good. But what Hannah L is trying to tell you that whatever this whatever this Virgo thing you had going on, it's going to be it's going to have something to do with a legal. It could be legal matters, or it could deal with emotions, relationship, partnership, contracts, karma, harmony, peace. You know, working it out. And if it was an issue that was legal, anything like that, then it would be money concerns. Maybe loss of money, or maybe even past life money, like getting money that's due you, because that Jupiter aura can mean past money, money that's owed to you, delayed money that you're gonna get. Uh, it's kind of early to tell, but it just seems to me that she's trying to tell you that something's about to get better. But it does have something to do with that Virgo, because only you know that. And sometimes like these are actual people, like with the sign of Virgo. Like you see that a lot. Like you never know. But it could also be whatever I said before, health or service. Somebody at the gym, if you go to gym, health, service, anything with health or service and stuff like that. So that's as much as I can get out of that. But I do want to check one other thing. They're saying this is the second house, or fourth, third house, fifth, sixth, seven, eight, eight. So this is a 9 and this is a 10. So according to them, like that Virgo's in your ninth house, which again, let me just think, because now I got to try to use my memory. Give me a second. Cause okay, yeah. So the ninth house, cause see your ninth house. That's what we were saying. Your Sagittarius meant like you really outgoing person and everything, but then things kind of got a little closed. But you still had Aries in the ninth house, and your Aries is in the first house. So you definitely like to go. So what the universe is saying is but it's but as you can see, the moon is leaving the ninth house, which is all about travel and stuff like that. So I don't know. And even like it would be hard for me to say at this point. See, when I did your chart, I could be more specific, but because this is coming out of nowhere, like it would be like I said, it would be a longer read. You know what I'm saying? It would be a longer read, but the implication is you were somewhere with the guy at Virgo, the guy that we're talking about that was on the other. You were somewhere with this guy on Virgo, and you're moving into a possible relationship or partnership or something with this guy. Because there's a possibility that the guy on your other chart is the same guy, but it could be a second whatever. And it's too early to tell. And like I said, I could sit here with the cards and ask them, but you understand, I'll be getting all up in your business. So it is what it is. But that's the implication I'm getting. Yeah, let me copy this before I forget. Give me one moment. But the card in the movement looks good. And in fact, the medium Corelli says 2. Well, that could be the couple number. All right. All right, now we can continue. Okay, so the second card to answer this question. Now let me write a couple of notes down. Okay, we wrote that. But then we want to say, let me look at that again. All right, come on. Okay, leaving 9th house. Leaving the 9th house of like travel, culture, stuff like that. Going into the 10th house. So 10th house, like I said, if you see Libra in the 10th house, it could be a legal, it could be justice. It still could be like a partnership business. Like I said, it could even be a court trial. It could even be marriage, like relationship counseling or marriage counseling. But that's what she picked up. Because that's Hanael. She really relates to all the signs though. But I know she relates to the moon, and it just was my intuition was saying moon. And then it was ironic because there was that Virgo. And Virgo was the main spot on that chart, on her chart. All right. All right. Next card. Life Review, which is Jeremiah. Take inventory of your life and resolve to change or heal anything that is unbalanced. So that's what that the Virgo is going to deal with, healing and balancing, and so is Libra. So that's why you see those two together. So Scorpio and your is your family sector, education, all that, and that's where you had that retrograde. And like I said, Hanael can also be Venus because of the romance and all that. But she's pretty much the high priestess, which deals with the moon. But the high priestess deals with the moon, the empress deals with Venus, but it's still different aspects of the divine feminine. So I'm gonna read his card again. And plus, that's where you got your sun. So now you got the sun and the moon. So you got two different readings with the divine masculine sun and the divine feminine moon. Take inventory of your life and resolve to change or heal anything that is unbalanced. So, if you had any issue with a male regarding maybe he thought you was just a little too, because I told you somebody where Scorpio is, somebody was trying to stop you from being sexy, telling you to tone it down. I already said that. I already took that reading, and now Jeremiah is taking us right back to that area. And Haniel can be the moon, but she can also be Venus. Because when you said this word, is my twin flame the young man whom I recently met and am so conflicted on? Well, you said on, so that's what it seems like you're saying, on, conflicted on, like what should I do? But we don't know what the confliction is. We don't know what the conflict is, but it could be that. Now let's look at the space chart that's above us right now and see what's going on with Scorpio there. And that's in your 11th house with Lilith. And Lilith can all be about Lilith can definitely be about conflict. But Lilith and Scorpio definitely means like sexual situations, and it could mean confrontation. But I'm gonna try to look it up, summarize it really quick because of the simple fact that's universal reading, and it may not apply. It may apply, but since it's not a personal, then you don't have to sit there because you could be talking about something that doesn't apply. It's not her chart. It's the universe's chart. So first, let's find it, and we want to do Lilith again. And Lilith and Scorpio. Come on, come on, come on. Give me a moment. All right. Scorpio, intense, desirous, influential, passionate, seductive, powerful, resilient. Seductive and obsessive. So that's what's going on right now in the universe. Third card. Wow, Haniel again, passion. Trust and follow your renewed passion in your love life and career. Passion. Trust and follow your renewed passion in your love life and career. What have we been talking about this whole time? We're trying to figure out if the same guy, that same guy that seems to have been the boss, is the same guy that is in the lover relationship. Not just boss, but he's the same guy. In other words, it may look like two guys, but it may be the same guy. And Haniel is kind of saying it is. Haniel ain't letting up. Like Haniel is, it is the same guy. It is the same guy. She's saying. And then and then and then Jeremiah is co-signing, and they usually don't show up together. Like when that show up together, I know you're dealing with somebody that's good with that sex. That's that freak. That super freak. She's super freaky, yeah. So now, which I normally don't do, but I'll give you ladies some advice. When you want to be all sexy and all that, and you got a guy or whatever, if you break him off real good, he'll calm down. So just make sure you're breaking him off, because why they get so pissed off? Because you be all sexy going out the door trying to impress everybody, but you ain't really breaking him off. That's why that's what he really mad about. He ain't as mad about you being sexy, because he like that. But he's mad because you feel like you giving other people way more attention than you giving me. So I just thought I never do stuff like that, but I just thought I'd throw one out there. All right, now, so I gotta write this down. Well, I want to thank you, Hannah. I'll thank you, Jeremiah, because I answered my question. See, once I get it from the angels, I know it's true, because it's very rarely. Some people don't want to fess up sometimes, but it's very rarely where they're in error, if any, because sometimes it's just we didn't understand it properly. All right, so it's Hannah again. Passion. Thank you, Archangels. Now the next question, she says, will her twin flame and her be together physically in this lifetime? And see, the way they're talking, like it's already happening, like it's already going on. Like they basically identified who he was, confirmed it, and they're saying it's already going on. But this person's asking a question like it hasn't happened yet. So if that's the case, that means it is going to happen. But we got determination of who it is. So because like she said, conflicted. But sometimes females know, but y'all go against your own intuition. Like I mean, I know, like based on twin flames, you have to go into separation. But I don't mean no disrespect. But where my twin went wrong, like she knew what she was feeling, she knew what she was dreaming, and she woke up first. But see, it was third dimensional. It was like, oh, he should be liking me, he should notice me, and stuff like that. And sometimes a guy does notice you, but he just sick of bullshit. You know what I'm saying? So he don't really notice you for the simple fact he just don't want the bullshit. He might get sick of loving it and don't nothing come out of it. Now he just want to work, make some money. So he might be more interested than you are, but now you come across, but you don't say shit. That's why I keep talking about these females that keep all this shit inside. And so then you think you give him some hints or something, but guys ain't that smart. If I could tell you how many females like me, I never knew it. So guys ain't that smart. They don't always pick up like a female would. And so then what happens, he doesn't respond the way you want him to, because he don't know. Like I said, I've been stalked a whole lot of times, and it's just been my experience that, like with a lot of females, they like you when you're not interested, but if you're interested, then they start playing you out. So it's a lot of little girl games with females, so dudes don't be with that all the time. So just because a female try to, talk to you 1 minute or something, that don't mean shit. Some people just like to talk, or some people just be trying to nosy, trying to find something out about you. So that don't work. So then she gets pissed off because she's like, oh, this dude, whatever. And she's like, she's going into evil mode. And now what I say, that's your real personality. That's why I ain't fucking with you. Like, that's your real person. Why you getting so mad? And now you turning on me. Now you treat me like garbage. What I really do to you? I don't even you don't talk. How am I supposed to know? And then I told her that, like, we never talked. I don't know what's going on. We never talked. She looked me in the eyes and then left and came back and kept on doing the same crazy shit. So the point I'm trying to make is, when you're dealing with that Scorpio energy or Lilith energy or whatever energy is making your ass crazy, if you really want to connect with somebody, why don't you just try good old fashioned communication? Whatever happened to that? People are so crazy now, they go from staring at you like they know you. And I know about twin flame, but I have other women do it too. Not like her, but I've had a lot of women give me the stare down. That's nothing big, nothing new. But not talking. Give you the stare down of death, but not talking. And then go from one extreme to the other. So that's not a good thing to do. So that's why I say you're better off with a guy, because guys just want to know what's up. That's all. And I know females like to play hard to get, and you know, for different reasons, because they are females, and you do have some guys that are obsessive, and females want their space. But you still gotta learn how to communicate a little bit better, because otherwise you're sending out these mysterious messages and these crazy messages, and then once the guy see your ugly side, he's not gonna want you because he's sick of the bullshit. You know what I'm saying? He's just sick of it. So try to get a grip, slow it down, try some good old fashioned conversation. You never know. Like the other female at my job, because the universe was always sending me next to females, so we was always having conversations. They was always, you know, trying to whatever. And so this female, but she was good. We had a conversation. She talked. She let me know her interest to go out with me. I mean, she was like thoroughbred. Like I ain't never seen no female like her. Pulled out the pen and paper, took all the notes and shit. I was like, what the fuck is this? But that's how it is when the devil tempting your ass. So, I'm not saying you got to be like her, but just be a little bit more mature so a guy can get a grip that you have some interest. You know, but all that game playing and read my mind, you can't read my mind, so you obviously look. I'm a grown ass man, nigga. That's some shit we did when we was in 3rd grade and 4th grade. You like me, I like you. She like me, she love me, she love me not. Do you like me? I like you. Come on, man. So I don't mean it because I don't. One female told me, man, you hurt my feelings and shit. Like I'm talking directly to her. I'm talking to any dude. If you a dude and you do that, stop that stupid shit. Like let a person know something, a smile or how you doing or something, like just something. How was your weekend? Then the person, I think they kind of like me, you know, because now the lights are turning on. But all that crazy staring at somebody and, you know, following somebody when you act like you don't want to talk to them, all this crazy shit. Of course, a nigga ain't want to have nothing to do with you because you saying, yeah, this is crazy. I done had enough of that shit for one lifetime. Like I be saying to God, don't you think it's enough, man? Decades of the same bullshit. Don't you think it's enough? But then you got to be careful because he throw your ass in the deep like he did me. Now you got supernatural shit happening to you. All right. So just call that a comedy break, but it was based on reality. Now, so you asked about will you two be together in a lifetime? We're gonna ask the archangels, and we're gonna ask it just the way you asked it, and they'll know how to answer it. Give me one moment. Dear archangels, will she? All right, but see, the hard point is this. We got to change that around. Cause see, where we're at, we don't know. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if this dude is your twin or not. I know Hannah is talking about passion and stuff like that. And I know Jeremiah said balance, and that could refer to twin flames. Because anytime you talk about balance, you know you're gonna be talking about Libra anyway. Relationship. Your first question was, is my twin flame the young man whom I recently met and am so conflicted? Will my twin flame and I be together physically in this lifetime? Alright, so the way I'm going to ask this question, because it's like you asked about him. This is how I'm going to ask this question. Dear Archangels, we trust that you will know who she's referring to. Will her and her twin flame be together physically in this lifetime? And I'll be back with the answers. 4 cards pulled. First card is Gabriel. That's the moon again. So far, Gabriel and Jeremiah have co-signed, agreed with Hanael. Oh, so he's agreeing with what I just said. Let me just read what I just said. Like y'all, if anybody out there really be listening when I be doing this stuff, you can see how these angels be agreeing with me. He says leadership. It is time for you to assume your leadership power and position and lovingly guide others. So what you gotta be honest. You gotta communicate. You gotta talk, and you gotta talk to him. Don't just keep waiting. And the reason why Gabriel is telling you to lovingly guide, because the guy may be an indigo child. The guy may be crystal child, and they're sensitive, so they're not gonna talk if you don't, because they're sensitive. Like if you heard what I just said, I've been in a lot of relationships because see, I'm angelic, so I'm very loving, and then I'm a Leo, so I'm very romantic, very loving. See, I like being happy. I love the flowers. I love all that. But when you try that to a female, she'll reject it. A lot of times, I know y'all say they don't, but I did it too many times, so you can't tell me nothing about that. They'll reject it because they got a lot of stuff they working on inside themselves. They don't feel good about themselves and stuff like that, and then they don't think they worth it. And then you got that just that everybody got a dark side, and they're like, oh, this guy's acting like a sucker. I don't know. I need a real man. I need a man that can handle me, and I don't need a guy that's gonna be lovey-dovey all the time because I don't want to be lovey-dovey. So they go into that third dimensional bullshit. I've been there so many times, I can't count it. You understand? So what they're telling you to do is talk, communicate, and also realize that you have to be loving. And another thing females do is they can be very judgmental. So don't be. That's why he's saying be loving. Don't be judgmental, because these are all things that are gonna block the growth with your twin. So I'm just typing this. And also he rules Cancer. I mean, because he rules the moon, so he rules Cancer. The difference between Haniel and Gabriel is Haniel is more moon. She could be Cancer too, because she is a mother. But she's more moon, the mystery of the moon, the esoteric meanings of the moon. Whereas Gabriel is more motherly, because Gabriel, he's androgynous. He's both. He's androgynous. He's both sexes. So he's more a nurturer, a supporter. And so this time we're going to look at your Cancer. Just give me a second. So again, they're still dealing with Scorpio, because your Cancer is your 4th house. It rules your 4th house, so it's still dealing with your Scorpio. So he's agreeing with what I'm saying. Like if you want to be sexy, because that's the same house where the Virgo is retrograde. See, what happens is like a chick be real sexy, and I mean some guy, I don't know. Guys are funny. I don't know. I think for the most part, if you really like somebody, you're gonna feel a little jealous if she's still being all sexy and guys is looking at her and shit. So you're gonna be a little jealous. But there are some men that go for it. But see, some men don't care, because if it's just a sex thing, they could care less. As long as they're hitting it, they could care less. And then there are some guys, maybe they do have secure, they're secure. But I'm just gonna be honest with you. I honestly think that most people would be a little insecure, even if they try to act like they are. And if I was a female, I would wonder why he's not insecure. Because I would be like, is he fucking somebody else? Because he's not. He should be jealous. Like, you know what I'm saying? I would want to know why and shit. So I'm just thinking, but everybody keeps going to this. I'm only going where the cards are taking me, just so you know. Because when I read over this, I tried to be as tactful as possible and just go over everything. But once they start pinpointing areas, then I have to speak on it. And see, what I'm trying to tell you is, and if you notice, there's a moon in Cancer in your 12th house. So that is an issue. And I kind of thought it was, you know what I'm saying? If you go back and just listen to my recording, I was trying to be as tactful as possible. But I always thought it was an issue. That it might be an issue. I'll put it that way. I always thought it might be an issue in your life, just looking at this chart. Especially when everything is active one moment and then it just goes unactive. So I don't know. I don't know. But she's acting like she's acting like they haven't even met yet. But I hope he didn't put you on lockdown, or I hope he's not obsessive. I hope he doesn't put you on lockdown, because it just looked like you just stopped. So don't let no dude put you on lockdown. Ladies, listen. Like, I just wish I had more. I wish I had, no disrespect to y'all, but I'm giving such great advice. You know what I'm saying? I need a bigger audience. And they don't want me because they say I'm mean. All right. But don't let no guy put you on lockdown. Ever. Because believe me, I believe in love, I believe in stuff, but you can't force a person. You shouldn't force a person. Oh, we're in a relationship. Take that dress off. Oh, we're in a relationship. Stay home. So never let a guy put you, because that's not love. And that's why Gabriel just said loving. That's not love. You have to learn how to talk, compromise. If the man's not mature enough to talk and compromise, then he's immature. But I also encourage people to really talk to each other. And I know it's kind of hard, but if you feel uncomfortable, you got to be like, I really care about you. I don't want to lose you. Boom, boom, boom. And I'm a little uncomfortable. Boom. Like he got to be man enough to say that. And most people aren't because they feel like that's a weakness. But there's nothing weak about telling the truth. That's why I do it every day. There's nothing weak about telling the truth. I don't give a fuck who says you're this, you're that. Look at you, ha ha. You're this, you're that. Who cares? It's just words. You don't pay my bills. You don't know me. You can't read my heart. You're just some idiot running their mouth. And I guarantee, give it a year or 2 years, he'll probably be in jail, or somebody's going to beat the hell out of you, or you might be dead or something. Because that's usually what happens to know-it-alls and people running their mouth in a negative way. Now, so that's what they're telling you. And again, the moon in Cancer is in that, what did I say, that 12th house, that dysfunctional house. And it's kind of funny because I talked about that house, and I was saying how somebody could be in jail or psychotic or whatever. So what they're trying to, they're giving you some advice, and I know it's a lot of information, so I hope you're taking notes, and it's bouncing all over. And again, somebody might say, well, listen, I don't even know the guy yet. You're talking like I know him, or we never did anything yet. You're talking, well, they know. I don't know. I don't know, but these angels know. And I'm watching how the reading's going, and the reading is confirming what I was already thinking. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Second, let's ask the question again, so we can stay in the groove of things. Will your twin flame be together physically in this lifetime? So Gabriel was giving you advice on what to watch out for and how to actually make your relationship work for you. Next card. Comfort. This is Azrael. He corresponds with Cancer or Capricorn, going back to your employment sector. I am with you in your time of need, helping your heart to heal. All right, so we're going to do it again. Azrael on your chart is Capricorn. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you're doing it again. It's Virgo. So they beyond a shadow of a doubt, they're confirming that this is someone you got a career connection with, and it's probably some type of manager or some type of boss. And it's all and they kept dealing. They keep dealing with Virgo. They keep dealing with Virgo. And Chiron is where you got hurt. So that's why the question you're asking, it's not panning. It's like you're acting like you don't know the guy, and they're acting like you've already been hurt. So I don't know if they talking past life, or maybe you mixed up with the guy you're talking about, or I don't know what your problem. I don't mean what your problem is, but I don't know what the problem is. But like they're pinpointing like accurately, like almost to the point like they're saying like don't be in denial. Like there's somebody that you knew at a job, some type of career, and it's definitely some type of service or home career. You had something going on that led to you getting hurt, or both of y'all hurting each other in the career sector. We got to do it. I didn't want to do it, but we're gonna have to see. We're gonna look up Saturn in Virgo. Saturn in Virgo. Because we know Saturn in the second house, of course, that's somebody that's really going to be controlling when it comes to their money. They're going to want to watch it and study it and make sure. Well, let's say Saturn and Virgo. And again, Virgo can have to do with cleaning too. Yeah, Virgo can be very critical, very analytical. In some ways, Virgo can be like Capricorn. She even got a person. They got a girl vacuuming a guy up. Oh, this is Molly Hall. We had Molly the other day, and Molly was talking crazy last night. But I said I liked her because she's kind of witty. All right, give me a second. We got to get out of here. Now, I hope this thing copies because I want to copy this vacuum cleaner. Because the female is vacuuming up the guy. For those with Saturn Virgo, work is not separate from life. It is life. That's why this Saturn is happiest with the career that grows with them. There's a danger getting stuck in a limiting job and then agonizing over making a move. But you're likely to go through some times of breaking out of old roles and moving on to greener pastures. A lesson is that your passion for work doesn't have to narrow your world. And that because Saturn he teaches you lessons. Saturn teaches you lessons. And that when you've outgrown certain duties, it's worth the disruption and angst to move on. Since Saturn represents fear of change or defensiveness, see that's what it looks like. Like she was sexy, outgoing, looking good, and he had a little bit of position, so he knew he could use it because females are impressed with shit like that. But from the moment he came in, he took over. Like said, he like locked her down because then she wasn't with friends or associates. And if this didn't happen already, then it's kind of like a warning, and you got to know because either it did happen and you acting like it didn't, or it's about to happen. And what Hannah is telling you is it's going to seem beautiful and seem perfect, but you gotta be strong. Gabriel was saying you can't let that man house you down. Because remember, ladies, the whole world is going to protect you. And second, a man can only do what you let him do. Even if he do something stupid, he did it one time. Once you do, if you do what you're supposed to, he probably can't do it again. Hopefully. And like I'm a little crazy. Like if I was a female, if a man ever put his hands on me, he might get away with it the first time. But I'm gonna have every law enforcement in the area gonna know that nigga, everything about him. If he don't like it, fuck him. And if he try to hit me again, I'm gonna have something. Let's put it this way: if I put a restraining order out and he's still coming around, then I'm gonna have to handle that myself. Because in court, you proved he was violent. You proved you asked for help, and he came to your house again. Wasn't nobody there to stop him. You had to stop him yourself. Because sometimes, unfortunately, that's the world we live in. That's why I be telling you, I talk the way I talk because I know where I'm at. This planet is crazy. You could pull up in front of your own house and die. Getting out your own car, going in your own yard, and somebody knocking you upside your head and something. That shit happen all the time. So you can't be thinking everything is lovely and kosher because it's not. You got to balance it. I understand love and everything, but you also got to be protected. You know how many people, especially females, thought they had some type of fun or love going on and they're no longer here because somebody murdered them and worse? It's not a joke. So the reason why I'm bringing it up, because that's what I'm seeing in the cards. It's something not right. And you don't go from being highly active 1 minute to almost you disappeared off your own chart. You literally disappeared off your own chart. So something happened either now or it's going to happen in the future if you don't watch the situation. Now, I'm not saying he's a bad guy. I'm saying you have to communicate. You have to make sure he listens when you talk. See, everybody want to jump in bed. Like I said, you want to be sexy. Everybody want that part of it. But what happens when the shit gets ugly? Communication will always be better. When a man respects you, it'll always be better. If you ever really watch, when a man respects a woman, he won't do no shit like that. But when he thinks she's a hoe or thinks she's easy, he treat her like garbage. It just become a sexual thing. It's almost like an animalistic. And people think that shit's cute, but it's not cute if it gets aggressive. You understand what I'm saying? When your life stops being fun because now this guy is controlling you because of him, you're his ass. That's my ass right there. And that's what I'm seeing here. I wouldn't bring it up, but that's what I'm seeing in the cards. So I gotta say what I see. That's what I'm called to do. But right now, this is a situation where Saturn There's a Saturn or authoritative control issue. Now I'm going to read on. Since Saturn represents fear or of change and defensiveness, and Virgo, this comes out as obsessive compulsive disorder. So that will be somebody controlling that ass. You could be that guy that goes over a document 20 times or freaks out over a bit of clutter. So he's somewhat of a nut job. You'll want to face. Well, it's really on your chart, though. You know what I'm saying? All this is really on your chart. But by reading it, I know it's talking about him. You'll want to face, because when you have, I told you can see your twin on your chart. You'll want to face the fear of not being perfect, tidy, and in control at all times. Is this your Saturn sign? Find out from your whatever. Okay. Some Saturn Virgos deal with extreme worry, hypochondria, or insecurity. That's somebody always thinking they sick. And you might have a hard time winding down, especially after a busy, productive day. Your challenge is not to leave your whole self, including the body, behind as you go about your day. You can become a paragon of well-rounded moderation over time. So let me look at your chart again. Cause like I said, well, that's see, yeah. When you're dealing with twin flames, a lot of times your true north node is your twin. I see that all the time. Like my sister's husband is a Taurus, and that's her true north node is Taurus. And I know they're talking about him more so because in your medium Coeli and then Chiron. And even they said Chiron points to somebody you had a bad relationship with. Saturn rules Capricorn. So you want to check your Capricorn and your Saturn. And it's all then that's when it starts dealing with Virgo. So this is some type of issue you have with this individual. Or will. Next card. Oh, it's 4 cards. Next card. Patience is Joe Fiel. See, he's still dealing with Libra. And we already talked about that. Your dreams are blooming more rapidly than you realize. Still, they need nurturing and patience. So what does nurturing and patience mean? Slow it down. That's why I said, in some ways, if you really want to be sexy, you got to be careful, because see, sexy implies I don't want to be serious. I don't want to be serious. I'm free. I'm independent. I'm gonna do what I want to do, and that's what it is. Can't you tell by the way I'm dressed that I'm not really ready? That's what you're saying. You may not think that's what you're saying, but that's how it's being received by a man. So that's why what she's saying is patience and nurturing, because you got to learn how to talk, just like I said. Because at the end of the day, you don't want somebody controlling you, and that's what's going to happen with this Saturn, this authority figure. He's going to try to control you, and he's going to shut you down. Like I said, you already see it in the chart. So she's telling you to slow it down, patience, get outside, be one with nature, have a garden, slow it down. All right, and we don't have to look at Libra on your chart because we already talked about that. We was extensive, and Hannah took you right back to Libra. Yeah, well, we do have to look at that chart though, because that's what she was telling you. Hannah was like, this thing's about to increase. That's the first card, and Hannah shows you going. Hannah shows it going from Virgo into Libra. So got to be real careful. Next card, Raziel. That's Leo. Take back your power. Take back your power. Use your God-given power and intention to manifest blessings in your life. So you just don't give your power to somebody else. And on your chart, there was Libra again. Oh, I'm sorry, Jupiter, and then Leo, which is what you're supposed to be. Your ascendant is where you're the leader. You're in control. Because see, that's how it started off. Right or wrong, you were your own boss. You were fun. You were sexy. You were free. You stood up for yourself. And then all of a sudden, shit just went to, where the hell is she? She fell off. I was expecting your 11th house to be popping, friends and everything. Then it was just shut down. You go back to the tape, and you go back to the beginning of that video, and you hear me saying, or the video, however I do this, it might be one video, it might be two, I think it's gonna be one. You hear me saying, what the heck happened? And then all of a sudden, look like a psycho boyfriend, and then I kept it to myself, and then as soon as these angels came out, that's why I love them. People be talking about I'm mean. We're honest. Being honest is not mean. It's just that people want to do what they want to and don't want nobody, like they'll pay for the reading and get it and be pissed the fuck off. Man. All right. So we got that. So they're telling you, you said, will you and your twin be together? You got to stand up like a leader, and maybe that's why you got that retrograde in your 4th house, because you're like you got to stand up even into the man. Believe me, he'll get used to it. He'll get used to it. You just got to stand up and he'll respect you. All right, give me one more. All right, give me one moment. I'm gonna put this on pause. All right, now give me a second. I forget what I was about to do. All right, take back your power. All right, give me a second. Dear Archangels, how does he really feel about her in his heart? I'll be back with their answers. All right, so we got, I think 5 cards came. First card, crystal clear intention. Now Michael came out before. He came out a few times when I was shuffling the deck. A lot of times when they have messages for a person or me, these cards will come out. Michael came out a few times, but when I see him come out again doing a reading, then I know he's talking to the person. So they're telling you crystal clear intention. Be clear about what you desire and focus upon it with unwavering faith. So that's why I say you can't, like with that sexy stuff, like a woman will want to be in love and she want a serious relationship, but she's sending out messages that are saying, hey, I'm active, I'm sexy, and I'm independent. Now y'all will get mad and want to curse me out and say that's not what we meant. Maybe that's how you took it, but it's not just how I take it. That's how a lot of other people are taking it. So that's you gotta. He's telling you whatever. Like Raziel said it too. I think your intention, whatever your intention is, that's what you gotta project out. Bottom line, and you gotta trust the universe to bring it to you. Like that was the last card pull. Raziel said and he's Leo. Use your God-given power and intention to manifest blessings in your life. So if some female walked past me and all kind of junk, I was somewhere, woman had a banging, her body was just banging. She had on them shorts, and then she ain't had the top of the shorts buckled. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't zip. It wasn't buckled. It wasn't buttoned up or nothing. Like easy off. Like back in the day, I was out there. You know what I'm saying? Don't walk past me looking like that, cause I'm assuming. Excuse me. And if you want to talk about ass, that's exactly what I'm talking about. Your ass. So the intention by appearance is saying, hey, if you talk to me and your game is good and I like the way you look, we could get this popping tonight, right now, depending on where we at and where we can go. That's how you looking, but that's the intention of how you looking. Now you might say, but that's not what I meant. I'm just being sexy and I'm just being provocative and stuff. But I don't mean, but it don't add up. But that's a female thing. But that's why I love the Archangels, because they tell it like it is. And if you notice, I actually took up for the sexy. Now y'all know how I can be.
Y'all know how I can be. I even gave a female some advice on how to keep on doing it and keep your man and shit. I usually don't do that shit. So I'm not the bad guy here. I get blamed for being a freaking bad guy. Can I please just do my job? They're making it perfectly clear. You can't send out double messages. And that's another reason why this nut job is gonna come down on you. This nut job is gonna house you. He gonna take your ass off the market. And that's a horrible thing. Women don't ever let no man bully you like that. Never. Look, I had to call cops on my own family. Sometimes you gotta call cops. They're gonna be mad. But if he wanna keep getting that bullseye, he gonna have to calm his crazy ass down. You can help him get the help he need by getting his ass locked up if necessary. Or like I said, if somebody's around me acting a little crazy, first thing I'm gonna say is how you feeling, how you doing. And if they still gonna act crazy, I'm gonna lock their ass up till they get the help they need. Because if I don't do it, they could hurt themselves. They could hurt somebody else. You understand? So you gotta learn how to be tough sometimes. I keep telling everybody, and everybody wants it to be easy. Well, I'm here to tell you it's usually not. It's usually not easy. It's called a little bit of maturity. But once you get through the bumps, it's better if you ask me. Because me personally, I don't want to have great sex if that's all it's going to be. I guess my days of running around and hoeing are over with. I don't want to have great sex if that's all it's going to be. And even if you're a female, at some point in time, you're going to want something real. You gonna get sick of the wham bam, thank you ma'am. First you're going to say you want it, but there will come a time when you want that security. So the angels are trying to tell you how to get it. Crystal clear intentions. Be clear about what you desire and focus on it with unwavering faith. Next card. Ariel, courage. Be courageous and stand up for your beliefs. She's saying the same thing. Now Ariel is pro woman. She's the bravest archangel, and she's pro woman. She's not no coward. But one time, one of my clients, friends, whatever you want to say, we were doing a reading for her, and she was telling me her man was a beast. And back then, I was kind of like, I believe it when I see it, because everybody got their own opinion. So I didn't go with it until I got to the reading. But when I got to the reading, Ariel came out, and Ariel was like, "Spread your wings and go now." Like she was like saying, "Run." And I've never ever seen Ariel tell nobody to run, because she's courage. So I said, "You better get away from that man." I said, "Because he's violent. Get away from him." And then before that woman could get away from that man, he beat the crap out of her. So that's why Ariel's telling you the same thing. Don't set a precedent. See, like I said, y'all women don't realize what y'all do. You think it's cute, but sex ain't nothing to play around with. When we talk about you sexy, it's causing things in a person. And if you see a woman and her body good and all that, and zip the thing is all popped open, all that, shorts all up in a pussy and shit, and then the buttons all like ready, it's not even buttoned up, and then the breast cleavage is all in your fucking face, belly button. You wanna fuck? Let's stop the bullshit. I wanna get busy. If you up with it, I'm up with it. Let's do this. And then it's a lot of females that will. So the point I'm making, now you got this animalistic energy going around, and it really is animalistic, and you can't balance that. You know what I'm saying? Because like they talking about. They tell a woman why he gonna want to buy the cow if she done already gave up the milk. But what you think gonna happen if you give some wild freaky ass sex with somebody, and now you talking about let's date or whatever. Like the horse don't went before the cart, because now all he thinking about is fucking. And like I said, he'll say whatever. Because my twins, the father of her kids, yeah, he let her move in, and yeah, he banged her out, and yeah, she was just dropping his babies, but he wasn't putting no ring on her finger. So you could kind of tell where that was going. And that's the right thing to do, because if something goes wrong, she needs to be able to go to the courts and say, "Hey, this is the father of my babies, this is my husband, and he got to pay some money for these kids." But a trifling dude like that, he may not try. She gonna have to really go to court to get proof and all that. Then she got to say common law wife or some crazy shit. But she shouldn't have to do all that. That should be the first thing. Like the best lyric Beyonce ever said was, "Put a ring on it." Not saying you got to rush into no relationship, but no matter how you look at it, if you rushing into sex, you still rushing into a relationship, because if y'all have children together, there you go. And hopefully don't nobody do nothing crazy like murder. And you know I'm talking about abortion. So when we're gonna talk sexy, we gotta talk about sexy. So that's why Ariel popped up to tell you be careful. Everybody knows he's not I'm not saying he's a bad man, but this is what I'm trying to tell you. That sex can make a man crazy. One of my friends I went to school with. This is a true story, and I hate to bring it up, but I have to. She was a super freak. When we went to school, she was doing everybody. That girl was a super freak. She was the type of female that they say, you be talking to her and you be like, yeah, my bad, I ain't got no pen. I got one. She had the pen, she had the paper, and when she showed up, you best believe she came through. And that was when we was teenagers. Years later, many years later, you can even say decades later, she married a police officer, broke him off probably proper, drove that man crazy. This is what I'm talking about, Saturn, because that's authority. She broke that man off proper with that sex and everything like that, and then finally she got up the nerve to leave him. And she must have really fucked with his mind, because females can do that. She must have really got inside his head, because that fool went crazy. And not only did he go crazy, he followed her ass, knew where she would be, locked her down on the street, had his gun pulled on her with his kids, and his kids are teenagers in the car. And then his cops came because he was a superior. His cops came and were begging him to put the gun down. He won't put the gun down, and he shot off at least 3 to 5 shots, and his wife killed her. And the cops wouldn't shoot him because they respected him for who he was before he went crazy. And now he's still locked up. Of course, he ain't never going to get out. And his own children are saying, don't ever let him out. So I'm telling you how powerful sex is. It's not a joke. And, I understand. And then sometimes we just go too far with sexy. Some things is sexy, but it ain't going to make nobody really, really act up. But then some sexy is just way too sexy that a dude's like almost ready. And that's why you'll see some females like that walking around by themselves. I would never walk around by myself on some broad dress like that. Because anybody will run up. Especially nowadays, anybody will run up. And again, all due respect, go all the way back to the beginning of the video. And I stayed away from all this until the angels came in. Because this is what they're saying. It's not me. This is what the cards say. And whenever I see Ariel in a reading to a female, I'm telling her to watch it because the nigga will beat your ass. And I'm gonna keep it 100 because I'm sick of reading the newspaper with dead females because they trusted some dude, trusted some boyfriend, their own father killed them, and all kind of crazy shit. So I somehow this because I got new Windows like just earlier this morning. Windows updated everything, so